Hello everybody, right, welcome back. I'm not your financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. We're just going to have a look at some of these charts and see if we can make heads or tails of what the hell's going on, shall we? So we'll start with Bitcoin. We'll try and make it brief because if you watch my videos then you'll know where we stand with this. We've got this pitchfork here which is holding to be pretty true. We're on the daily chart here. We've been rejected every time we've touched it and we've only found support on this lower one here. Now we do have other supports and resistances within this blue box, within this pitchfork tool here. We've got this next one here where I'm going to be closing my short at, which is 9,200 to 9,000. So when it hits there, my short will be liquidated. That's fine. I'll have made enough profit for me to be happy, and then I'll reevaluate the situation there. And the situation is this at the moment. So today I imagine that we're likely to be moving around in a very short area. So as low as 9,200 to perhaps as high as 10,000. There'll be nowhere out of that area. I mean, if it were to break out of that area to the down, I could see that more likely than breaking it to the up. Now, if we break above 10,000, that would be a pretty bullish signal to me. Anyway, even in the short term, and I'll tell you why. It's because the top of this blue box here is 10,000, and it's also exactly where it meets the this descending pitchfork where we've been rejected on each time. So to break above 10,000 today or tomorrow would be pretty bullish for me, and we could ride that one all the way up to this area here, which is this descending trend which we've been rejected on 3 times significantly, and that would be, at the moment, that area is 11,500. So that would that would be bullish to me. If we break above 10,000 and everything else looks good, then yeah, we could ride that one up and then perhaps maybe short it again around this area. Oh, that's what I'll be looking to do. Don't do what I say, just do your own research, obviously. If we were to break down beneath this blue box, which we might do, there's a good chance we will, not today, but generally speaking, if we break beneath there, we've got supports here on this 200 EMA. They always provide decent supports and a relatively good bounce. So I'd expect something to be played out here, a nice little bounce from there. But if for whatever reason, if that comes back down to test it a few times and breaks, and they do break, when these guys break, they break quite hard. And so we'll be back down to this, which is our last level of actual support when it comes to moving averages, which is the 200 simple. That at the moment is at 7,500. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but these things can happen. From here to here, 7,500, what kind of move would that be? That would be a 20% retracement from where we are right now, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but it is possible. I'm not expecting it to play out anytime soon. This trend that we're in could be going on for a few weeks yet. Anyway, indicators generally suggest moving to the down on the daily, getting lower lows on the RSI. So I don't see any reason why this would make any decent moves up, and certainly no way near anything above 10,000. Significant rejection there, and to be honest with you, if it did get to 10,000, I might be looking to make another short, just a temporary one, just to get back down to this area. Right, so we'll move on. So we'll have a quick look at this, which is the crypto total market cap, excluding Bitcoin. And this is something that I showed you guys the other day, and if you watch my videos, hopefully you will have saved yourself a little bit of pain, because we anticipated this huge collapse in the altcoins. That's a real shame. That's a damn shame. What a shame. Anyway, all I wanted to show you here is that we've got levels of support and resistance. We've got this death cross here on the daily, and historically we actually make little bounces from this area here. The last time we hit this area here was basically we've hit it around here, which signified this big move up. We also had a golden cross behind this really nasty sign that we've got up showing us here. If that breaks down though, for whatever reason, and it might do, because the death cross is here, and this is only currently about a 12% retracement from where the death cross took place, we could be back down to here, which is that would make a little bit more sense, around 30-odd%, and that could be our lowest level of support before we do find a realistic, decent bounce. So there could be quite a lot more pain to be had. But we have bounced 2 times in the past on this area here, and we might be finding a nice bounce on it at the moment. So technically, in a nutshell, we've got a little bit further to go to the down before we test it a few more times, and then we can hopefully launch from it, creating maybe not something as big as this, but we might, at that point, we could almost safely say that altcoins might have found their bottom. But if we break beneath this, then we have to get down to this level here. And this level would I'll pretty much be I'll be more confident in saying if we got down there we'd be finding real bounces at that point. This should be a much stronger area of support. Right, so we'll move away from that. It's annoying that that sign came up. Sorry about that, guys. So we'll go to Matic. So Matic is not looking very good. Let's face it. It couldn't escape the nature of the bearish trend across the board with all these alts and Bitcoin, obviously. But the alts, you know, like I showed you on that chart before that stupid sign came back up. You know, it's been bearish for a while, and Matic hasn't escaped that. So what's Matic looking to do today? Or in the future, should we say? Well, 130 Satoshis was our sort of support, really, and that broke down. So now we're beneath the support. We're kind of in no man's land when it comes to Satoshi values. And that might not be such a big deal, but I'm not too confident on it. We've got a bit bearish signs here on the MACD, so I would say that Matic's looking to come down, definitely. We are on actual very low levels of support here. This is our last stand, around 1.2 cent. If that breaks down, then we are going to come back down to a cent or lower before we find a bounce. So we might be snaking around sideways from here. If we find that bounce on the market, on the crypto market cap, then we can move up. But the highest we're looking to go is probably on this area here, which is we've got a descending trend here of resistance. So if for whatever reason we moved all the way up to the top of it today, the highest we're likely to go is 1.56 cent. Before a rejection. We're probably going to get rejected before then, because we're beneath all moving averages, most of them facing down. We've also got a death cross on the 4 hourly, so not looking too good. Probably sideways action and maybe down over time, unless there's a change in that market cap that we saw. So one we've not really looked at, I can't say we've ever looked at it before, but I have put some money into this myself, just because I'm expecting a little bit of a bounce from it. Maybe not right soon, but at some point, relatively soon. So we're on the 4 hourly chart on COCOS here. So what we're looking at basically is we found what could be considered to be, well, it's definitely our new low of 0.0013. And we found a nice little bounce up there, but we're rejected from the middle of the Bollinger there, and rejected again. And we're probably coming back down to test that level again here. Might be an alright bounce. We're looking for a sideways action here. And we'll just have a quick look here with the Satoshi values, which are not really going to be very useful because the Satoshi values are so low. But the lowest we found ourselves is 14. Probably coming back down to test 14 again, to be honest with you. This, I think, is going to be one of those sleeping giants. Looking to probably move back up to around 30 Satoshis, and it might do that really quick one day, perhaps maybe just, you know, within a day's period, be one of those. But it's definitely a gamble. There's not much to go by on that chart there. It's just something that I'm kind of a little optimistic on that one. So we're looking at REN now. So REN is something that I've never really considered buying it myself. Until we came down to this area here, and I made a video on this probably a couple of weeks ago when we were quite high up here. Someone asked me to make the video, and I said, yeah, it's going to be coming down because we've got death crosses here. We'll be coming down to test this level here, which actually, you know, I don't want to sound arrogant, but actually we tested it perfectly. Look, I mean, we actually bounced on it there. Now, I didn't buy any of it. Obviously, it just shows that technical analysis really does work quite well. On a chart that has a long enough history, and this one has actually played out extremely well. I'm actually quite impressed with it. I mean, it's not, like I say, I'm not meaning to be arrogant. It's not me saying, I got it right. It's the chart. The chart is telling us all. It's telling anyone who cares to look at it correctly what's likely to happen, and it happened. So it's not me. It's the chart. It's the coin. So you could do this yourself. It's not, you know, it's not that hard to map out this and why it was likely to bounce from there. We bounced on there because we launched from there here. We also bounced from it here, and we bounced from it here. So the chances of us bouncing again when we got down to that level is quite high. Now, are we going to continue with this bounce? Well, that's the question, isn't it? I think we're more than likely going to be coming down to test it again, and maybe getting down to its lower form here of 600 Satoshis. I know that sounds, you know, pretty low, but I think we're you know, I wouldn't want to be buying it now until we see this change in its trend. And it might start to change the trend now, but it hasn't changed it now. We found a bounce on what we considered to be a support. That's great, but it's not changed the trend. It's just bounced from it. We can have a little bounce every time we hit a support. That's fine. Doesn't mean it's not going to break again over time. So we're looking for more movement to the upper from what I can see here on the 4 hourly. And but perhaps maybe rejections on this, like we're seeing at the moment, playing out on this this 50 EMA and the 50 simple are both there, and don't forget we've had death crosses here and we're beneath all moving averages, so it's still bearish. So we'll see what happens when we come back down to test this area here, which will be 633 satoshis. If we go lower than that, it'll be 600 satoshis, and then we'll see if we start to change the trend from there. And if we do change the trend, then I would say yeah, we might be looking at bullish moves, and perhaps maybe over time moving up to this first area to take out would be 988 satoshis, then 1161, and over time, maybe making sort of higher highs over time. But at the moment, still bearish, but we have bounced, which is a good sign. Link then, so let's have a quick look at Link. Link is making new lows after its parabolic top here. I mean, it really did peak, so this is kind of normal for this to play out. It's similar to what you see happening with Matic. Matic went crazy. In fact, it looks very much like a Matic chart now you look at it. So I would say that we're probably going to be still consolidating in this period until the crypto market cap changes its direction. So yeah, probably looking to make some more lows actually on this one. Maybe a little bounce today, but again we're beneath all moving averages, death crosses here, so yeah, probably sideways actions, pretty much the same as Matic really, sideways with more movement to the down. Where is that likely to take us? We're looking for our supports actually to be tested here. We've got supports at 1.59 to about 1.53, and if that gets taken out, then yeah, sorry to disappoint everybody, we could be coming all the way back down to 1.14 actually, which should pretty low actually, but it's not unlikely. We're waiting for that whole crypto market to change, aren't we? And the last thing we'll look at is it on its Satoshi values, which again, not made new lows actually. We're sort of above this area now, so perhaps maybe to come down to test this area here, 17,000, we could call it 18,000 before another bounce. So 18,000 satoshis before another bounce on Link. Anyway, I'll leave it all with you there. I know that was a really long video. I hope I've covered some coins for you guys that I haven't covered in a while. And I hope you have a nice weekend. Take it easy and have a good one.